Australia is currently the chair of CMAG, which is the Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group. And so being the previous host, being the chair of CMAG, and as well as a member of the Commonwealth, for Australia to say, look, we're not going to attend because we don't think Sri Lanka is upholding Commonwealth values, sends a very strong message not only to Sri Lanka but to other countries in the Commonwealth to follow suit.
Yet the counter view proposed by many governments who are attending, including the British government represented by Foreign Secretary William Hague, is that their very presence there raises the issues that you are concerned of and will perhaps bring pressure to bear on the Sri Lankan government to change their ways.
Well, back in 2009, the decision for Sri Lanka to host CHOGM was actually delayed by 2 years, precisely because of human rights abuses and violations of rights of the Tamil people. Yet, in that time, we haven't seen much of an improvement. So it's almost like the Commonwealth saying, look, we're going to delay the CHOGM being held in Sri Lanka. We'll give you 2 years to improve your human rights status. Sri Lanka didn't do anything, and then the Commonwealth kind of went, okay, fine, we're still going to go ahead and let you host it. And so for all of us who believe that CHOGM shouldn't be taking place in Sri Lanka and that it should be boycotted, we feel that not much of a lesson is being taught to Sri Lanka, and whether people turn up, whether attention is put on Sri Lanka, whether the spotlight is on Sri Lanka, the regime there is very, very authoritarian, and we don't feel that they're going to listen to anyone unless words are put into action.
There have, though, been some moves, I suppose, if you can call it that, towards providing at least semi-autonomy for Tamils in the northern part of Sri Lanka. We had elections held there in September, the main opposition Tamil group winning the majority of votes. Is there a sense, though, that there is some progress within Sri Lanka, or is there really a blind spot in terms of dealing with those issues, particularly 2009, which was when a lot of these incidents were occurring?
That's right. A lot of things almost seem to be happening just for the sake of happening. So elections were held, but if you look at what's happened since then, Tamil people still do not have an improvement in their rights. Whether it comes to political rights, they still lag very much behind the rest of the citizens in the island. And things like disappearances of young Tamil people are still occurring. Deaths in custody of Tamils are still occurring. Tamil women are still being subject to sexual abuse by the strong military presence in the north. And given that it's been 4 years since 2009 happened, everything that the Sri Lankan government says it's doing just ends up on paper, and there's very little action.
Now, Sam Pari, I was asking you just before this interview, have you been back to Sri Lanka recently? You say, given you are outspoken, you would be in danger if you go back.
That's right. Given the fate of many journalists, many human rights activists who are quite outspoken in Sri Lanka, right now I feel I'm much safer and I will have a voice if I stay in Australia.
But you were talking about intimidation, as you say, not just of activists, but also journalists, judges and opposition figures.
Yes, definitely. I think anyone who questions the Sri Lankan government is interrogated, intimidated, and a lot of people just disappear.
So really, international pressure is perhaps the only way forward here?
I think not just international pressure in terms of words, but also in terms of action. And whether it be sanctions on Sri Lanka or boycotting such a prestigious event, but action, coordinated action by many countries together to tell Sri Lanka, look, we've given you time, we've set this nicely, and instead the rule of law is disappearing. We see thousands of people coming by boat to Australia. The root cause of violations, persecution, acts of genocide in your country are causing a massive humanitarian crisis on our shores. And so Australia should really think of a long-term solution rather than a short band-aid fix to all of these issues.